So to get started, what you'll need to do first is download the zip compressed version of this plugin. So I have that included in a link here to my public GitHub repository. It should link you to the main page for the plugin. If you download this zip from here, that will appear here, and you can go to your manage and install plugins. And you want to make sure that you first have Google Earth Engine, the Python API wrapper, installed first, so that you can actually import the general EE library that's used in this plugin. Once you have that, you can come to install from zip, go to your download folder, and just install the plugin. I think this was the most recent one. I already have it downloaded. And once you do that, it should install successfully. And you'll see this little icon here to represent sort of the heliocentric model developed by the actual Copernicus. Once you click this, this should show up as a dock widget on your left panel. And upon initiation, it will load this sort of general Google satellite image that is at the CRS of EPSG 3857. So that's an important note for later. Some of these data sets are in a different coordinate system, and the plugin will update the project, the entire map, with the most recently added layers to find CRS transform. So I'll explain that later in a bit. So the first thing you can do, like I said, is you can say, where do I start? You can hit this Find Me button, and it will use your public IP location, which is not exactly your location. It's based off of a server location where you get your internet from. And it'll put you right on a map. You are here. From this point, you can draw a shape around you at a certain radius. So I have these different miles or different distances. I use or miles or kilometers. So let's draw a 10-kilometer radius around me. I have two different encoded shapes in here. One is a rectangle and one is a hexagon. And I use these two specifically because of their general purposes in building polygon filters. Now, rectangle will appear as a square, but if you change your CRS transform, and the projection of that square will appear as a rectangle. So that's why rectangle is the more preferred nomenclature. Now, hexagons are quite interesting because they sort of emulate what a circle would do. So you can actually draw the shape radially and still get 95.5% of the same covered area, but the render time is much faster since it's only 6 points instead of almost infinity. So if we draw a hexagon on the map, it might be hard to see on this layer. Once it's on the map, you can highlight this and use it as a filter, right straight to Google Earth Engine. So you have to first make sure that you're highlighted on the active layer, which the top layer is by default active. It's always good to make sure you highlight it on this side. And this other tool within QGIS, select features by area or single click. Once you use that, you can click the borders and they should highlight yellow. So now that I have this hexagon filter around me, I can actually download. Let's look at one of the feature collections. So let's say I'm curious about if there are any power plants close by to my location. One of the feature collections in this catalog that I've included is all the power plants from a survey. I'm not sure if it's called a survey or a census of types from 2018. So pretty recent. And once you select the feature collection here, feature collections often don't have time windows defined, so this is not too essential of a parameter to use on the filter. Once you select this result, you can go straight to extract. If you want to find out about this data set, you can hit this sort of question mark help button. A pop-up window will appear here and actually tell you a little bit about this data set. So these columns or these features that come through these are the types of things that you can actually view in an Excel format. And so the way I sort of think of this is these are the columns, and they are actually given latitude, longitudes for those columns so that you can actually spatially format that data. A few things to note on this data set in particular are the country of origin of the data set. So this is a worldwide data set of power plants. You can actually see the nameplate capacity of each of these, as well as the primary fuel source, so fuel 1. So once I know that, I just go right to the extract button, right to the important part. And I should get all the information in this hexagon near me. So power plants near me. So I don't know if you can tell, but there is actually just one right here. So that's not too interesting. So let me back up a few different steps. Let's take some of these, let's refresh.